Beware! These videos are only for the eyes of dungeon masters. Any player who watches these Pathfinder videos will suffer the curse of doom. So tread carefully. So saith Dungeon Master Doom.
So, the players have inspected the first section of the board. And at this point, they are faced with the slimy curtain of lichen and disgusting swamp things. When describing this curtain, you want to make it gross, because it gives a feeling of the interior of this swampy, boggy, evil cave. Now, of course, they're going to enter it, and it's not hard to enter. They just simply walk through it and nothing happens to them. But describing the slimy, disgusting curtain sets the mood for the game after you've set the mood, done some foreshadowing with the statue. Now at this point, where they place their figures on the board is important. And I imagine, well, they'll have the warrior. The warrior will probably go through first. That's what warriors do. The cleric is armored. They can set them up like that. Who knows? Oh, maybe they'll be more tactical. Let's see, the thief could run very quick. The cleric's in a position to heal everybody. And the wizard's in a ranged position. Then the fighter walks through the curtain. Now, this might not happen. They might decide to climb on top of the dungeon. If they climb on top of the dungeon, theoretically they could go straight to the end, because in the boss cave there is a hole in the ceiling. So who knows? You never know what can happen in a game. But when they're faced with the map, they're in characters, so they're going to be more willing to go through what's presented with them. But I've had some wily players who have tried some crazy things, so you never know. Maybe I'll have to come up with some encounters on top of the cave. Maybe make it very hard, a very hard climb to the top. And above would be the dragon circling above. And if you're fighting a dragon in the air, you're pretty screwed. The warrior wouldn't be able to do anything but use a short bow. She could throw knives, and I'd be up hundreds of miles. Well, not hundreds. I would be up very high, out of range, squirting acid down on them. So that's what would happen if they did that. So they go through the curtain, and the book has you immediately place 2 drunken goblins like this. Oh, and I'm using the dice here to represent the curtain. This map, you can use wet erase markers to mark things like that. But I also have some fancy miniature stuff of my own. So for the treasure chest, I got a treasure chest token right there. So the purpose of this encounter is to give beginning players a little familiarity with the combat system. And these goblins don't pose any threat. Goblins are weak to begin with, and these are drunk goblins. So it might be fun to role play the goblins as drunk, psychotic drunks, and they will immediately attack. They won't fight smart. They're just going to fight to the death. They're just going to go straight towards a target and fight. So, I'll probably just have them attack the nearest target, and the fighter will go through first. Now, if the players are smart, they want to either fight so many things can happen. He might want to fight diagonally so the wizard can fire something. But the main thing with the combat system of Pathfinder and D&D is you want to position your characters so they can flank and do attacks or get the flanking bonuses while finding ways to avoid going into threat zones so creatures can't get attacks of opportunities. As soon as you are within the threat zone of a character, you're locked in combat, and you can't do anything but fight. If you aren't paying attention on your opponent, they get a free attack on you. That's an attack of opportunity. Now, I'm actually not too sure about the rules, but actually they have them start here. So, if he moves up here, then he's locked in combat and he has to fight. I think he's allowed to move here without taking an attack of opportunity or being attacked. So he would want to move here, and the thief would want to move here, so they get the +6. And then I'm going to want to move the other goblin here so I can get a +6 to damage as well. But if I do that, then I'm moving out of her threat zone. So basically I noticed the book has it set up like this. So if the players are setting up attacks of opportunities, you as the dungeon master, if you're playing as smart as you possibly can, if you're going to go for an attack for the flanking bonuses, they will most likely be able to get attacks of opportunities and you won't. So I could set up the game like that, but I'm also thinking these are 2 drunk goblins, and I was thinking maybe I'll just have them set up randomly. Oh gosh, maybe they would be hanging out and drinking. One guy could be, they'd be sharing, they'd be sitting back here down in goblin mead or whatever it is. And then as soon as they walk in, I'd have them roll initiative and I'd do charging attacks. And well, we can see how that goes. Once the goblins are killed, which is inevitable, they'll mess around trying to open up the treasure chest just in case they don't have a thief. There's an iron key hidden in the room somewhere that is easy to find. That's all this one is. It's a simple, straightforward, get a feel of the combat system encounter. So, on to the next room of this dastardly dungeon of doom from the Pathfinder Box set.